So I want to show you how to find the mean and median and standard deviation and those things from a group of data. And there's two ways that it can be given to you in terms of frequency and that sort of thing. There's one where the numbers are just single numbers, like this one, and we're going to look at that first. And this one, it says there's 100 cards, and then it says each card has a number between 1 and 6 written on it, and it gives you the frequency. Now, the only thing is it doesn't give you this frequency. But if there's 100 cards, this right here is 40, 60, 70, and then 96. So that has to be 4. All right? And there it is written out. And then what we're going to do, we're going to try to find the mean and median and all those things from that set of data. So you're going to get your calculator out just like we have been. And what we're going to do first, stick this up here maybe. We're going to go to document and get a new document. And if you already don't have a document there, this will pop up. But if we want to do a list and spreadsheet again, every time we put in data, that's what we do. This is the number, we'll say, and our frequency again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And then just checking this number, I think it's 26. Yep. So then we have our frequency is 26, 10, 24, 29, and 11. And so once you have that in there, I just want to show you how to get the mean and median of those things. So we go to statistics, we go to stat calculations, and we go to one variable statistics. It's going to ask you how many lists you have. You're going to say 1. The X list is where's your data. So our data is in number. That's the possible numbers. Then it's going to say frequency list. If you don't have a frequency list and you just have a set of numbers, you leave that as 1 and you hit OK and it gives it to you. If you do have a frequency list, which we do, then we put it in here. So we're going to say frequency list is frequency and we're going to hit OK. And then it's going to display for us all of our data. So first thing it tells me is my mean is 3.33. Some of this stuff we don't really need. But there's our standard deviation, 1.79. And then down here, here's our Q1, here's our median, here's our Q3. So that's how you find the median and the mean and the standard deviation of a set of data that has a frequency. The difference then is, what if you're given something where there's a group of data? So here's an example where there's a groups of data. When that happens, you can't get an accurate measure, a specific value for the mean and for the standard deviation, because you don't actually know of these 15 numbers what they are. You don't know if they're all 9s, or they could some be 9s and some be 5s and some be 2s, but we can get an approximation by just taking the middle number from each of these. So if you're given a range, what we do, we go back to our calculator, and again, we'll just put a new document in here. So we'll get rid of the old one, and we'll put our list in spreadsheets, and then minimize this. And this is our marks this time, and our frequency. And what I'm saying is, in order to get an approximation, we're going to take the middle number, so 5, and then 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, and we're going to put our frequencies in there. So 15, 50, 100, 170, 260, 220, 90, 45, 30, and 20. And again, if I maximize my calculator again, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're just going to go to Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, One Variable Stats. Excuse me. Every once in a while, you just got to sneeze. So we have marks, and then we have our frequency again, and we hit OK, and it tells us, again, if we scroll up, there's our mean. It's an approximation because we're assuming that all of them, the mean of each group is the middle number, which it may not be, but it's an approximation of that. The standard deviation, there's an approximation of that, and there's your median. And that's how you do mean, median, standard deviation calculations on the calculator with a set of data that's frequency. If you didn't have frequency, and I'll just show you this, assume that these were just our numbers, 5, 15, whatever, there was no frequency. Then what we would do is we go to Menu, go to Statistics, Stat Calculations, One Variable Stats, And then instead of including a frequency list, we just wouldn't. So we'll put our marks in, but we'll leave the frequency list as 0. And it'll say, are you sure? And I'll say yes. But then that gives me the mean just of that data without the frequencies. And there's the median and all that stuff. So there's the standard deviation. So you'll notice the numbers changed because it's only finding the mean, median, and mode of 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95. It's not taking into account that there's 260 of them in that group, in the group of 45, for example. So that's how you find mean, median, mode. Sorry, not mode. Mode is just the most frequently occurring. But that's how you find the mean, median. There we go. Having a struggle this morning. Can't talk very well, but we'll get through it. Mean, median, and standard deviation. All right.